as we
That's
keep
right.
doing marketing, networking, getting the exposure, it's gonna come. You said you was 12.
Probably something like that. We started early. Started real early. We had KRS-One back then. We was early. We was
KRS
little
One.
bad. Yeah, we was little bad kids, man.
Running around listening to KRS
Why
One,
that,
huh?
when that came out, I was in the clubs with him and stuff like that. Peppermint
You was
Lounge and
what?
stuff. We was at the clubs with him. Who you playing?
Okay.
Super. That's my cousin. We
Really?
yeah, we did a show at Peppermint Lounge back in the day. And that like
Okay.
back then, 9-5. Yeah. Yeah, we was
Brandon, you
wild.
too young for
Yeah,
this.
yeah, absolutely.
Brandon, you too young for this.
Follow me, follow me, follow me, yeah, follow me.
Welcome to K.I.R.P&P. Keep it real, positive, and professional with Sheba's podcast. I'm your host, Demetria, and I am the founder of Sheba's Lifestyle. And I have my two guests here with me today, Brandon, RBE Athletics, and Maurice, Official Entertainment. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. The topic today is men entrepreneurs slash business owners. And we're just going to learn about RBE Athletics and Official Entertainment. Just in case you don't know about Sheba's Lifestyle, Sheba's Lifestyle is a women's empowerment brand. We focus on weight loss, weight management, mental and spiritual health. And I am in the process of organizing my first event called Pretty Girls Wear Pink and Do the Work. It's going to be at American Legion in Rahway on May 17th from 1 to 6. Come out and support your local vendors. Have fun with being exposed to the community. Enjoy some good food. Take some pictures in the picture booth. Network and have a good time. So I'm going to start with my first guest, um, Brandon, RBE Athletics. And Brandon, if you could just introduce yourself again and tell us your name, your business, and what made you start RBE.
All right. So first off, my name is Brandon Caesar. First off, thank you for having me on your podcast. I really appreciate
Absolutely.
the exposure. Um, my name is Brandon Caesar. I'm the CEO and personal trainer of Rise Beyond Expectation Athletics, otherwise known as RBE Athletics. The main reason I really started is just I got a love for the game of basketball, and more so just really wanted to get into mentorship, especially with the young kids around the area. Like I said, I was born and raised in Rahway, just that little area, Rahway, Linden, Roselle area. So I just really wanted to, help these kids along their athletic development as well as find a mentorship aspect. So what I was able to do was able to actually take that athletic training aspect of RBE and kind of turn it into a mentorship to where not only am I helping these kids achieve their their athletic endeavors, I'm also helping them become better young men on and off the court. And I think that's the most important thing. So just really more so doing my part to really break the cycle. These young men need mentors, and especially at the age that I try to get these kids in. That's when peer pressure, extracurricular activities start doing. Like it's a saying, it's like idle hands are the devil's playground. So what I try and do my part just to make sure these kids have a positive outlet, and to let them know that you don't have to be a product of your environment. You can be that kid that allows sports to take you into the direction that you want, not only athletically, but to excel in school, to help pay for education and to give you the necessary tools to become a better, productive individual. So that's really the premise behind it.
And I like to hear that, Brandon. I like to hear that because you have um, played a huge role and been that mentor, that bigger brother, that father figure in my son's life, Isaiah.
Appreciate that.
And I really admire what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And I think that it's needed. It's needed in the community, and especially our community, African Americans, just having that person to go to, to talk to and learn from, grow from, and also do what they enjoy doing, such as basketball, sports. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? And again, I really value you as an individual. I admire you, and you have been such a help in my family.
I appreciate
The
that.
bottom of my heart, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you. And we are now brother and sister,
Absolutely.
from from a different mother, and a different father, but we we family,
Nah, absolutely. Like I told you again, you ain't getting rid of me, yo. You know what I'm saying? But nah, like I've always told you since I met, the goal was never really to overstep. I respected the boundaries, but again, I
Yes,
appreciate you for allowing me to really get to know Isaiah. And
yes,
not only that, the bigger thing is just really trusting that, that I wasn't really trying to, pin it against a you versus him thing, and just really trusting and allowing. The biggest thing is just trust. And I'm glad that we established that trust. And again, I just thank you guys for allowing me to be a part of his life. Because like I told you guys, I'm just a passenger in your car. I'm just glad I'm still in the car. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
like I said, I just thank you guys.
Absolutely. And, it was something that I knew was necessary. I was a single parent, and I knew that he needed it. But the way it happened, our introduction wasn't planned. You
No,
know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
It was something that just happened. That's how I know you have been sent. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's how I know you meant to be, we meant to be family.
No,
You know what I'm
absolutely.
saying? Because of the way it happened.
No, absolutely. Like I said, not to we already know the particulars, but like I always
Yeah,
say,
yeah,
man, I
yeah.
really appreciate my brother. My brother
Yep,
Deshaun.
yep,
'Cause,
yep, yep.
Deshaun was the introducing force to that. But like I always tell him, man, I was like, yo, I really appreciate you doing that. And like I said, it's just again, I know the extracurriculars, but again, just to attest to, my brother Deshaun really reaching out to me saying, hey man, I got this kid, take a look at him, check him out. I really appreciate that. And like I tell Deshaun this all the time, man. I'm like, without him doing his introduction, this wouldn't even be a thing. So again, man, like I just said, it just aligned perfectly,
Yep, it did. And
yeah.
he was definitely the bridge. He was definitely the bridge. How long ago was that, Brandon, now?
Yeah, I met Isaiah when he was in seventh grade. Oh, Isaiah,
Yes.
yeah, no,
Wait, he about 20,
yeah,
25
20,
now. No,
yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
playing.
he's old as hell, yeah. Facts. So I
So,
mean, it's been a minute, man. But
yeah,
like I said,
absolutely.
man, I'm glad that that both parties were willing and accepting. Because like I said, it's not only beneficial for Isaiah, it was also beneficial on myself. Because again, I had to, it kind of forced me to grow up. I had to
Be an
really,
example.
change my mindset, and basically, I don't like saying Isaiah was basically trial and error, but I think we did more good than bad. But then still, with
Absolutely.
reflection, certain interactions, I'm like, yo, I could have handled that better. But what I do now is when I interact with other kids, I use that. But again, man, like I said, he always had the potential, and I think he just needed to realize that we both had his best interests at heart. And I'm just glad that everything is paying off. He's always been a hard worker, so I'm glad he's reaping the benefits. And not only I'm glad you're reaping the benefits as well, because it's both beneficial
Yes.
to both of you guys.
Definitely am. I'm a proud mom. My baby, my sunshine is on his way to Morehouse.
Yeah.
I can't be even more proud. I am so proud to say that he is my son and I'm his mother.
No,
I am so
absolutely.
proud of him. But I'm going to introduce my next guest. Maurice Official Entertainment. And Maurice, if you could tell us your name, even though I just said it, but um, tell us your name, your business, and what made you start Official
Okay.
Entertainment.
My name is Maurice Nuff Shepherd. Official Entertainment is what I'm working with now. I'm a movie script writer. I'm also an actor, but I'm not an actor. I'm a cast member. I don't like that term, actor. So I'm in a few movies. I film weddings. I do it all. Uh, uh, a battle rapper back in the days. A little bit of everything. I did it all. I came up
Okay,
from the bottom. I'm not to nowhere near the top, but I'm still working towards success. You know.
absolutely. And you're originally from Elizabeth, right?
Absolutely. Yep. Born
Okay.
and raised in the projects, Pierce Manor. Everybody up there know me.
Yeah.
Like I was like the one like the ones now they came up under me and stuff. It's I don't treat them like I'm an OG and all that stuff how people say.
So, what made you start Official Entertainment, Maurice? I mean, you also have um Official is a clothing line as well, isn't it? Like, isn't
Yeah.
that what you're wearing right now?
Yeah. Is it
Oh, that's
clothing?
fire.
Is it clothing 400 official brand? I started that about 5 years ago. That I
Okay.
started that and I ran with the word official because one day I used to say the word official all the time. And then I just started saying I used to be like official with an A.
Uh-huh.
And then I just ran with it from there and I just spelled it out as official and I just ran with it, you know. And
Yeah,
I always
right in it how it sounds, how you pronounce it.
and
Yeah, I like that.
I had my terms of people trying to pronounce it and they be all like it's right there, simple pronounced. They be like I so all like it's all over the place, but
Yeah,
I ran with it.
when we first met was in Staples, and
Yeah.
that's what attracted me to even introduce myself to you official, because I was sitting there trying to figure out what it said, and I had to slowly like, wait, hold up. I'm like, wait,
Yeah.
show. And
Yeah.
you remember, I was like, wait, is this you? Is this your clothing line? And I was like, official. You was like, yeah, official.
Yeah.
See, I like how you
Absolutely.
I like how you came up with that. That's original. That's authentic.
Mm-hmm. That's
Yeah, I
how it
like
is. I don't know. I got a way of making up words. I don't know.
that.
Yeah. I got my own little vocabulary. So
Yeah, you ever do that sometimes, Brandon? Just like write something the way you say it and not how it's spelled?
Oh yeah, I'm notorious for butchering words.
that's right.
I got my own language, you feel me? But nah, I think everybody does it. But I mean, it's a form of expression, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I mean it's more
Mhm.
of a reflection of where you grew up at. So it's sort of like those who grew up in that environment know what it means. So it just shows your creativity. That's all.
That's right.
creativity and writing.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Maurice, your content is mainly what type of content do you release?
See, with me, I'm balanced. So I do all of it. I don't discriminate. I do educational, violence, negative, positive. I do it all. I balance it out. I don't
Okay.
discriminate. Like, yeah, I do it all.
Okay. And what's the main message that you're trying to send when you're like releasing your content?
If you look at my movies, you'll see usually I always drop jewels in them. I always put some type of jewel. Even if it's negative, you're gonna get positive out of my movies. You know, if you watch the last ones I did, the base stealer one or what.
I didn't get a chance to watch the whole thing. I just been so busy. But I am gonna what was it again?
It's base dealers 1 and 2. That's out
Okay.
now. And you
Okay.
have but if you look at last year, I have iconic psychopath 1 and 2. And
I watched a little bit of that. That's the one with the mask on, right? He had a mask on.
I ain't gonna say he because it might be a she. You gotta watch it. See. Nah, but I filmed some of that right here. It's like that movie is like it'll have you the whole time and have you thinking this. You'll be thinking like this person, that, and that. Then when you get to the end of the movie is just so like it's like people stole my ending too. I be seeing the little Tubi movies and everything. They took my little ending, yeah.
Oh,
But
they stole it?
yeah,
Nah.
I've been getting jacked. I'm telling you.
Yeah, they'll steal it quick. Listen, I had to put out a flyer, and I take it as a compliment. Honestly, I
You
take
got
it as a
to.
compliment. But I put out a flyer, and I saw this person, which I'm not even going to name because that's just not
It
my style.
happens. It
But yeah,
happens.
I put out a flyer, and I went scrolling through my feed, and I see somebody with the same type background, same type colors, which is pink, my favorite color.
You're gonna see
But
that.
the same type thing, and I'm like, oh, okay, she must have liked it, and it's cool because that's how it go. Each one teach one, right, Brandon?
According to their knowledge.
Each one teach
Absolutely.
one.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. So, Brandon, what does an entrepreneur mean to you?
Basically, entrepreneurship to me personally means control. Not necessarily the control in the amount of money I make, control in me choosing the outcomes of my work. Meaning, like outside of this, I currently work for a nonprofit called Prevention Links. I'm the facilities and operations manager, and what we do with that is that
Congratulations on that, because you just got that
I
position, right?
appreciate it. I appreciate you.
It's been about 6 months,
Oh
something like
yeah,
that.
yeah. It's been a minute.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So, just to give you a little context of why I say control. With the nonprofit, we pride ourselves on providing resources to individuals who suffer from substance use, alcoholism, food insecurities. We have community centers all throughout Union, Middlesex, and Hudson County. So again, our targeted population is for those people in need, for those individuals in need. So with RBE, again, controlling the aspect on what I want it to be, it's basically anything that's in my mind, I put it out, and then it reveals itself to how I want it to be, meaning that I use basketball as a form of mentorship. So with this entrepreneurial aspect to that, I get to control how that looks. Again, revenue would be nice, but again, I don't do it for the revenue aspect. Again, our mentorship has been a huge part of my life. Growing up, I didn't have my father. Just to give you some context, I'm 37. I was born in '89. February of '89. My father went to jail March of '89. So my dad's been incarcerated for 37 years. So,
Wow.
I didn't have that father figure growing up. My mom was a single parent. We lived with my grandmother. And
That's
my grandma passed away when I was 15 or 16. So I just remember, you know, just all those emotions and things coming out, and I started acting out. And, by the grace of God, that, I had, men, take me under their wings. And a part of that was through basketball. You kind of imitate what you're used to growing up. And, by luck, that was my form of mentorship, sports. So, I just kind of wanted to give it back. And a big part of that was that the dudes that took me under their wing, they never charged my mother,
yeah.
with anything, I did kickboxing. I was on the national team.
That
I
was
did,
such a blessing,
yeah,
Brandon. And
yeah,
said luck. It wasn't
yeah,
luck. It wasn't luck. That was God's grace
absolutely.
on you, ordering your footsteps, putting people in your life for you to be the person that you are today.
No, absolutely, absolutely. So a big part of that was, my grandfather always said that you don't really keep receipts; you pay everything forward.
Yes.
So, one way that I can kind of pay that forward is to give back because, I'm a product of that. I actually had some friends that I seen the best, not trying to use my situation as an excuse because there's multiple young men in my situation, but the statistics aren't really in our favor. And like I said, I seen some men in my predicament come out, but I seen the worst of it for men in my situation. Just really being fortunate enough that I didn't have to go down that road. I just found entrepreneurship as a way to,
Absolutely.
have not only have control but as a way to give back. And this is how I give back. ideally having a source of revenue is ideal because that's what you get in entrepreneurship before. But I'm a firm believer of it's different. It's just not my time yet. Nor do I look into the relationships I have with these young kids for that. But like I said, that's just the main reason, just to give back and to really have control. That's it.
Yeah, and
Now, I kind of talked around it a lot. I apologize for that.
huh?
I said apologies for the lengthy explanation, but
Oh no, no,
yeah.
Nah,
I'm
it's good.
on the same page. We on the
Yeah.
same page, and I definitely agree with you. And I do want to elaborate on that. But I just want to ask you, Maurice. What does entrepreneurship mean to you?
I don't know exactly where to start. He said so much.
It means so
Yeah,
much, right? Yeah,
yeah. He dropped that jewel,
yeah, he
and I
did.
like even with like it stuck in my head when he say 37. He said his father was going 37 years and all that stuff. Cause I was raised with my father till I was like 19 or whatever. But he
Okay.
taught me and my brother a lot, like painting and stuff. Cause I'm also a handyman too. You know what I mean? I got my own
Yeah,
handyman
you
stuff.
told me that.
I
Yeah.
need that work. So yeah, and
A jack
yeah,
of all trades.
and it's crazy because I have a friend who's been locked up 37 years. And
Okay.
I don't know if that's his father or what. I ain't even questioning about that, but it's just, and he calls me all the time. So, and
Okay.
even like, I don't like discussing I had a situation. Yeah.
Maurice, we
Mm-hmm.
all have a past. We all have
Absolutely.
a past. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I have my story, and
I
I'll
know.
I'll tell you, or whatever the case may be. But if you ask me, I'll tell you. You know what I'm
I
saying? I
know.
don't
Yeah,
have any
yeah.
shame about it. And it is what it is. We all have a past. We all have
Yeah.
a past, but that's not who we are today. And some of us ended up there, to no fault of our own from the situation being mishandled. So
Exactly.
we're not even going to go there today. I'm just
Absolutely.
saying that to say that we all have a past, whether it
That's
be
right.
incarceration, promiscuity, we
Yeah.
all
Some
have
people have addiction or whatever the
yeah.
situation may be. Absolutely. I came up, on the projects and everything. So even in the projects, back in 2003, I used to walk around. I was the only one up that walked around with a camcorder. I was and I filmed a movie. I filmed a movie in Pitts, man. I filmed the first movie out this way anyway,
Oh,
2003, called Wrong Time. And I'm keeping real, I was on the block and everything, like running, whatever. But I was filming while we was filming, and I got sidetracked, but now I'm back,
well,
I'm on Sheba podcast.
that's right. K.I.R.P&P, the Sheba's podcast. Keep it real positive and professional.
That's
And
right.
I'll just say that, for me, entrepreneurship means freedom. You know what I'm saying? The freedom to share my story. You know what I'm
That's right.
saying? To empower other individuals, because even though my brand is a women's empowerment brand, I'm not specific to um just women.
The
You know,
universal.
exactly.
Absolutely.
Entrepreneurship to me is the freedom to share my story while empowering other individuals.
Absolutely.
That's what entrepreneurship means to me.
Hmm.
And I'm just enjoying the journey. I'm enjoying the freedom. I'm enjoying the exposure. I'm enjoying the networking, the opportunities,
Hmm.
and I'm enjoying the growth. I'm enjoying
Absolutely.
the growth. You know,
Hmm.
it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
now what was you saying
So
before you
I was
got
just
rudely interrupted?
exactly. I was just asking, are you documenting reality or are you influencing it?
I'm influencing reality because everything I do, I'm doing for a purpose. Even
Okay.
if I have to, it's different to say, but the level of balance I'm dealing with, even if I have to kick in the door the 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 wrong way, I'm gonna have to kick in the door. I'm not trying to, but if I gotta kick in the door the wrong way, I'm gonna kick in that door. I'm getting on the other side where I want to be, established how I want to be. Ain't nothing stopping me. I'm not taking no as an answer or nothing. And I'm keeping it independent because I've been around so many people that got made success and I got sidetracked, but now I'm getting right back to where I was at. I just got sidetracked. So I love my little god babies and stuff, my little grandkids and stuff. I keep them, I teach them, you know. So
Yeah,
my thing is I don't really care if a person like try to look at me like on certain things like, oh, he putting out a negative this or a positive this or whatever. I'm not here for them. And my mental capacity is on a whole nother level because I have knowledge of self. So
that's right.
I can go all around the board with it if you want to go
To thine
around.
own
So,
self be true.
you know,
To
wise
thine
man can
own
play the
self be true.
fool,
I was
fool.
just telling my
Yeah,
son that today. And
yeah.
that's something that we've been connecting on for quite some time now, quite some
Mhm.
years now. To thine own self be true. To
That's
thine
right.
own self be true. And I like how you said you're influencing it and not just documenting it because you're trying to make a statement. Well, you're
Exactly.
making a statement.
Making a
You're
statement.
making a statement
Absolutely.
by and using the freedom that you have as an entrepreneur, you know,
Hmm.
to influence the statement.
And even like me, I film, I do baby showers, I do weddings, I do it all. So it's not no just I'm not just stuck. And even like I told you before, like with my movies, like you haven't seen it yet, but I'll give you a little like even the base dealers. I got one scene where I got the old guy and the young guy. So the old guy smacks the young guy sandwich out of his hand, tell him to get off the block or whatever. So then the old guy says, you ain't like back in the days, you know, we used to use our hands or whatever.
I saw that. I
Yeah,
saw that.
but the fact is, you got to see the message behind it. Because he said we used to use our hands. So I balanced it with the young boy. The young boy had the gun on him. The young boy said, you don't deserve a fair one because you smacked my sandwich out of my hand, which was violation, which shows you just because you older, you can't violate a you can't violate a younger, and a younger can't violate an older. You know, I put the
Oh,
little.
I
If you
like
see it,
that.
you go and see the met. Yes,
Yes, I
everything I
like that.
do, like iconic psychopath. I don't really want to leak the, but I'll let you know what it is. The girl, I'm gonna let you know a little. The girl was, and she was in the back of the car. That was a girl with a mask on. She was in the
Okay.
back of the car. She grew up. So she grew up and she turned into a serial killer. So
Wow.
she was in the back of the car when the cops killed her mother. That's what the end.
Wow.
So I show her at the end, she's a little girl. They never seen her in a car. They killed her mother, left her. She got out the car, made it to her uncle in the park, grew up. Now her uncle raised her, you know what I mean? So it's so like if you watching the movie, you won't see none of this coming to the end. She break the whole ending there. And that's the reason. It's not a good reason, but it's her reason why she turned a serial killer. You feel what I'm saying? Because the cops
Yeah.
killed her mother.
Yeah.
See what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's different.
Yeah.
So it's like
I
it's
gotta watch
positive
it.
and it's negative, but it's
I
you
gotta
know,
watch it.
yeah. But I try to, I keep my level of balance though. And I love to help people
Absolutely.
and I love to promote. That's a thing like with even with my thing, like I have cast members and everything. They don't promote, you know what I mean? I got nothing but love for them, but they don't promote. I be the only one really promoting the movie that they're into, you know what I mean? And I get on them at times, but they don't understand how serious it is to promote. That's like my YouTube channel. I ain't have no subscribers last year. I just hit over 500 and some subscribers. You know
Oh
what I
wow.
mean?
Since last
And
year?
yeah, I got 550. I got 5 subscribers yesterday from posting that guy when he said, y'all young boys don't, it's stuff that
Yeah.
people want to
I
hear as
watched
a
that.
short.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tell you I got five. That junk got over 3,000 views. It's still going. It's
Yeah,
like,
marketing
but
is key. Marketing is key.
yeah,
You definitely
but
have to market because if people don't, if you don't tell people about you
mm-hmm.
and your business and what you have to offer, how they gonna know? Closed
And
mouths don't get fed.
And this is the thing. People just expect you. And it's like even like with me, I have people that be like, yo, I want to be in one of your movies. But they don't promote. Look at the thing. You don't promote, and then you want the exposure and everything, but you want the exposure off of me. If I'm already doing me, I want people that's going to promote to be on my team. So
Yes,
like say he got brother right here. I forgot
Brandon.
Brandon, right? You got my mother last name too. That's my mother last name, Brandon. That's
Caesar.
crazy,
His
right?
last name is Brandon.
Yeah, that's my mother family brand is the brand. I'm the Shepherds though, but they the Brandons. Yeah. And my cousin's name Brandon too. He got the first name Brandon like him. But the thing is, like him, he's established. You feel what I'm saying? He got his thing going on. You got your thing on. We can promote amongst each other.
That's
But
right.
if if you got everything set up and I'm just coming and I'm acting like you did your thing for your basketball thing and you did your thing for that. That's like me coming tomorrow, into your basketball thing, just trying to take your whole realm of just trying to take it
Yeah.
over. You're gonna be like, bro, I've been doing this. No, no, no. I want in this, that, and other, but I ain't got nothing to establish. I ain't even trying to establish nothing. Then when I leave you, I'm not even I'm not even saying nothing about what is it, Rise Beyond. I'm not even mentioning that. You know what I mean? When I get out the door. Nobody, none of the boys knew he was in the movie or not. I said, yo, how'd you like him in the movie? What movie? These your boys. How your boys don't know? Like, I was like messed up in it. Like, I can't get with that. You know what I
Well,
mean?
that's why we got to lead by example, Maurice. Once they,
Yeah.
see and recognize, how we're marketing our businesses and growing, and doing the work, putting the work in. That's another reason why my event is called Pretty Girls Wear Pink and Do the Work. You know what I'm saying? Because like I'm looking at it like this. It's one thing to look cute on the outside,
Mhm.
as a female. I'm telling you from a female's perspective.
Absolutely. Mhm.
It's one thing to look cute on the outside. Got your hair done, your makeup done, everything. And, you're not putting the work in to accomplish any of that. And my message is look cute and do the work and do
Exactly.
both. I'm living the life of doing the work, being an example of it. And I want people to know that. I want
Hmm.
people to know that. And I'm not bigging myself up or anything like that.
You gotta big
I'm just
yourself
saying,
up.
I'm not, well, I am speaking confidently, but I'm
That's
not
right.
cocky or overconfident. I'm just saying
Hmm.
what it is and what it takes. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
And I got a long way to go
Hmm.
for sure. But I've come a long way and I put the work in to get here. That's what I want people to know. Um, Brandon, when did you realize you didn't want to work for someone else?
I wouldn't necessarily say it was like a realization. Because like I said, I got a job outside of this. Um, I
Yeah,
mean,
but eventually,
yeah, yeah,
eventually the goal is to
yeah,
focus and hone in all on RBE, right?
yeah, absolutely. I think I don't think anybody really wants to work for anybody.
Yeah,
Meaning, you know what I mean? Because even if you start out a job, I mean, let's say if you work in a certain department, the goal should be to be the director of the department. You get what
exactly.
I'm saying? And that's what I'm kind of working my way up now. Like I work in facilities and operations, so ideally it would be to be the top at that. But yeah, I just think it's more so of a thing of nobody really wants to work for somebody per se. I think other people have a little bit more drive to make that a reality, and entrepreneurship is a potential outlet for that. So I mean, ideally, the goal is to for RBE to be sufficient in a way to where I don't have to answer to anybody. But then again, you always gonna have to answer to somebody. You know what I mean? Because
That,
ideally, with this, I would love to turn it into a nonprofit. But then again,
Right.
you know, I got to answer to the government. So,
Yeah.
you know, so you're always gonna have to answer to somebody. It's just to the degree
Facts.
that you got to answer to it, you know. So yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's good that you understand and you recognize that, at the end of the day, you have to answer to somebody, you know. So, going in with that mindset, just gives you that balance and understanding, and knowing that, you know, how the chain of command just works. That's just how it works, you know. No matter if you're a business owner or an employee. Maurice, when did you realize you needed to move differently?
I had a lot of dreams of my father, and he told me to get out the game and use my skills, my plumbing skills, and all that, all them things of that nature,
Are you a
and to
plumber
just
too?
yeah. hmm
Okay.
But I ain't got the business like that. I was working for companies that went out of business and use me to get their houses up and all that thing, of that nature.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what they're out there doing right now. So, but I'm independent now on that, trying to see how I work out, and filming and everything. And I always said, like, man, my friend was talking yesterday actually. He was like, well, we come from, he said, we not used to really having bosses and stuff like that because we always was our own bosses. So now he does stocks and everything. He was telling me, he was like, man, we got to get our stuff up and going. He was like, you on the right path. You always been on the right path. Cause he know me from back in the days when I was filming like hard and stuff like that. So, but it's just like when making music, you go in the studio, everybody think you just go in the studio. No, you go in the studio, you spend your money. I used to spend all my money, you know what I mean, that I make it whatever, however, but I spend my money to go in the studio and use my studio, whatever, to put music out there. And it wasn't really making no money, you know what I mean? Just like now with this, I'm really not making money, but I know in the long run it's gonna come because the way I'm promoting and I'm blowing this name up, it's a matter of time to where it's gonna come. And it's just like I won last year, I won awards, but I won them with other people's productions. So they got the rewards, you know what I mean? Off of me
Yeah.
doing me and a couple other
Go for
whatever doing the acting. Yeah. So now I want all my own stuff. I want my awards and everything to myself, you know what I mean?
And it's gonna come. It's gonna
Yeah, I
come.
know.
Just keep putting the work in, like you said. Getting the exposure. Doing
hmm
the marketing and just putting the work in.
It's
I
just
mean,
a fact when I got sidetracked, I lost like all of my connects. And it's like trying to get them back is just crazy years
well,
later.
listen.
They coming, but
If you lose something and it come back to you, it was meant
it
to
was
be.
meant to be.
And if it don't
Absolutely.
come back, it wasn't meant to be, and it'll be
Absolutely.
replaced with what was meant to be. You know what I'm
And
saying?
it's
So that's how you have to look at it. That's
and
how you have
even
to look at it.
even one of my connects over the years died. My main connect died. Like a year before I got to get died, like got killed or whatever. So it's like
Brandon, I'm gonna start with you. What advice would you give to another man trying to start a business?
Um, I would say that's a good question.
I got
I'm
that
gonna
one.
just I'm gonna just explain my mindset behind it and then try and trickle it out with that. So it was always I wanted to do it, but I was always worried about, oh, I gotta have a name, I gotta have this, I gotta have that. So I was doing the work for years, but I just felt as though I didn't have the things in order to do it. And then just one day, again, one of the ladies that does my mom's friend. My mom was telling her what I was doing. She just came to the house and she just did it. You know what I mean? Like we just filled out the paperwork. I paid the money, and then come up with a name. I came in with the name afterward, the mission, the vision statement, all that stuff. After is
Yeah.
if you have an idea of what you want to do, the hardest part is getting it done the right way. Meaning if you know you want to start something, you have a general idea, but you don't have the particulars like the name, the mission, the vision statement. I'm gonna say just get it done anyway. That's the hardest part. And then after that, it will come to you. And also the biggest thing is just really to be patient. Like I
Mhm.
said, in terms of what I've been doing, I've been doing this for, and matter of fact, in a couple of weeks, RBE will be 3 years old. But
Yeah.
I've just been doing it,
It don't
stop.
even seem like it, right,
Yeah, it don't even
Brandon?
feel like it. Yeah, but it's just like,
I remember when you first started. Remember you printed the
yeah,
shirts, and
yeah,
I
I
was
printed
like,
the shirt.
"Brandon, give
Yeah,
me one." You was
yeah,
like,
and they
"Here you
peeled
go,
off.
here you
All the
go."
shirts.
I still
So
got it
we
though.
still got it. Everybody's shirts peeled off,
Yep.
but then that's the learning thing. Yeah, so I think the biggest thing is just honestly, if you have an ideal, just do it, And another thing is honestly be patient with yourself.
Yeah.
Be patient. We all gonna think that we should be at a certain point in our life with our business, but then you have to allow yourself grace. And then you have to be willing to put in work, and most importantly, you got to sacrifice. Like certain
Yes.
things you're not going to be able to do. I mean, it's gonna, if you have a job, you got to put time in for this. Like I say, I got a 9 to 5. When I get off, my mind is always on this, even Saturdays and Sundays and on
Yes.
the holidays. So it's going to take a certain amount of sacrifice. But then at the end of the day, if you put in the necessary work, you'll reap the benefits. So again, I know it's a lot of not only men but women out here that say, "Hey, I want to do something." They got the ideal of it, but it's just something holding them back. The hardest part is getting it done on paper. That's the hardest thing, getting it established.
Yeah.
That's the hardest thing, but yet it's the easiest thing. And then, like I said, everything else will kind of fall into place. So I
Yeah.
would just say take it step by step. If you have an idea, pursue it, and then give yourself grace to build it out. I didn't really have a vision, a mission statement, or philosophy to the second year. When I started my business, it was literally just RBE. I didn't know what the hell RBE was going to stand for. I just knew I liked them letters. And then, really just trying to figure out what I was doing and, kind of doing some self reflection. That's how I came up with Rise Beyond Expectations. But I know I wanted to do something with athletics again, because it's not just rise beyond expectations basketball, it's just with athletics. But at that point, only thing I had was basketball. And then you look 2.5 years later, I didn't extend it to strength and conditioning. I'm about to start a football aspect to it. So again,
Wow.
it's just really just the hardest part is just getting it done, getting it documented, and then allowing yourself that grace to really allow yourself to make mistakes and be like, yo, I don't know what the main particular, I don't know the small intricacies, but you gotta allow yourself time. Again, you don't really need a mission or a vision statement to start something, because again, you gotta find a way how to formulate that. But if you have a general idea of what you want to do, pursue it, and just get yourself grace, and give yourself grace. And most importantly, you gotta be willing to sacrifice.
Yeah. And I think you summed that up perfectly, Brandon. I mean, I agree with that. And the only thing that I would add is to say, you know, um, put God first. Put God first, because if you put God first and trust his process, like you said, everything else will fall into place. Everything else will fall into place.
Absolutely.
And that's exactly how it happened with Sheba's lifestyle. I didn't know I was going to lose my job. I didn't know I was going to take an entrepreneur course and go to New Entry School of Business and start my own business and have this podcast and have this Pretty Girls Wear Pink and Do the Work pop-up event and have all of these other avenues set in place for Sheba's lifestyle. I didn't know that. I did not know that, but I knew that I had a vision. I knew that I had a vision. And when the Lord opened the doors, for the vision to come to life, I trusted the process and did what he told me to do. And everything is falling into place, you know?
No, absolutely. I agree. I agree. I think that we've all been blessed with certain gifts, certain gifts that we have to present to the world to help out. And I think it's just up to us to not only, harness those gifts, but to put those gifts out into the world. You know what I mean? So again, like you said, just not only trusting the man upstairs, but really realizing what your gift or what your attribute to society is, and then laying that
Tapping into
foundation
it.
for that. Yeah,
Tapping into
absolutely.
it. Absolutely. And I'm going to wrap this up after this. I just have a question for Maurice. Um, where do you see official in the next 3 years?
The next 3 years, if I'm here, I see it. I see
God
it.
willing. That's right. God willing.
I don't know. I I see it progressing. I see it progressing from all the footwork I'm putting into it, and all the investments I'm putting into it, the money that I'm putting into it that I ain't got, but I got, and I'm making it happen. All
Sacrificing.
buying the equipment, like everything, the lighting, getting all this stuff my own self. You know what I mean? Not owing nobody, not having to beg nobody for nothing, just making it happen. I see it as being a successful movement, and I still got the clothing thing I work to too. I gotta go back to, and I gotta just stay focused and keep it going.
Amen.
Now Universal fully focused. No, that's me.
That's what we
Hey,
say
we
that
going
again. Say that again.
Now Universal fully focused. Enough. That's me.
Enough.
Enough.
Okay.
Hey, we gonna speak that into existence, man. You gonna
That's
be here
right.
in the next 3 years. That's what's gonna happen. You
That's
feel
right.
me?
I sound like
Yeah,
a
I
speak
plan.
that into existence, bro.
listen. I decree and declare that Sheba's lifestyle, official entertainment, and RBE will all be fruitful, prosperous, successful, and dominating businesses in the community and around the world. I declare and I decree that in Jesus' name. Yes, I
Okay.
do. And
Mhm.
on that note, guys, this has been such a pleasure. Thank you for the energy. Thank you for the conversation. Thank you for participating in K.I.R.P&P. Keep it real, positive, and professional with Sheba's podcast. I look forward to seeing you guys at Pretty Girls Wear Pink and Do the Work pop-up event on May 17th at
Mhm.
American Legion in Rawway. And you're going to be filming that as well, right, Maurice?
Absolutely.
All
Mhm. Yep.
right. Okay. Listen, it's been a pleasure, guys. And until next time, God bless and take care.